was so much things this man would say to me that he gotta go do. And he would leave our home to go do those things. Meanwhile, he's going to meet with people to have sex.
Y'all broke up? Okay, cool. Okay. How was your day?
When my family found out I was gay, I was put out on the street.
So if you seen your friend man at the movies with somebody else they not supposed to be with, are you gonna tell your friend?
He was gone. Meanwhile, he's in a house with multiple people and they were just all up there fucking.
Let's talk about spinning a block. And why is that? That seems like it's a trend right about now. Have you ever spent the block in your day?
I have, but...
Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of the Gay Safe Space with
Kerry
and Pierre. And y'all, we got another sit-down conversation for y'all. It's been a minute since we sat down and did a solo conversation with just us and KP Nation.
Absolutely.
And basically this video today is just about relationships and relationships that are broken up, that have broken up and gotten back together, toxic friendships, all kind of different.
As well as good relationships.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, that also matters. Having
Yes.
good, supportive, and lovely people in your life is definitely
Right.
top tier.
And new friendships too. Speaking of that, you know, you can
'Cause that
invite
brings a
new people
whole
in your life.
new dimension to your life and experience.
Yes. So we're going to talk about all those things today. It's going to be a conversation. KP Nation, we see y'all. Thank y'all for always showing up and showing out, especially in the comments. We appreciate the love.
Thank you. Yes.
And if you are new here and have not yet subscribed, stop what you are doing.
Hit it.
And hit that subscribe button right now. Oh, and by the way, y'all, we had our event yesterday.
Lit. Yo, we were supposed to do stuff today, but it is cold. And I'm sorry. It's a no from me.
It's a no for me.
So, yeah.
We're like, y'all gonna get y'all a sit down, a little cute
Yes.
sit down,
Yes.
and then we gonna get to doing what
We'll
we
get back
gotta-
to the vlogs next week.
Yeah, we got y'all. But our fitness event was dope. Matter of fact, we'll throw a little clip right here. That way you can see some of the different things that we did. We had a great turnout at
It was
Mr. U
excellent.
Park.
Yes.
Babe, was there any part that you liked?
I like the fact that we used the hill that much as the warm-up. That was actually pretty good. We need to do like 5 the next time.
Right. I actually like that we had a good amount. Yes, our Fit Safe Space team is our core and we love them to death, but it is always good to see new people.
New people.
We had a good amount of new people come to this most recent one. So that was something I actually
Which is good, because
enjoyed
that definitely does
Right.
solidify the fact that, you know, it's such a good thing and it's growing.
Right.
Right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what
yeah.
we're definitely excited about. Fine.
All right, so let's get into it, y'all. So first, let's talk about toxic relationships. Toxic relationships and how to notice that you're in one. Like, do you feel like people know they're in a toxic relationship when they're in one, or they just like? Why do you feel like people actually stay?
Say yes. Because at the end of the day, a lot of it comes down to repeated patterns, right? And once you recognize a pattern, it's kind of like, I think in a lot of cases it comes down to comfort. Or in some cases, some people really do not have a choice. Because if you can't stand on your own 2 feet leaving this relationship, then you feel the need to stay. I know it kind of becomes weird when you're in a relationship because lives get entangled so badly.
Yeah.
And in some cases you give up your independence. You give up a lot of the basic things that you should have as a man or as a woman. So now you're kind of stuck. So when it gets toxic, and a lot of times it don't start that way, but people are excellent liars.
Yeah.
And they do a very, very good job
of showing their
show.
representative. Let's talk about it.
They do a good fucking job.
That representative,
that person,
is a whole nother person than the real core person they are.
Yeah.
And then they see it years later, you know, by the third, fourth year, they in there, and then it's just like, okay, what do I do now? Because I look at some of these like famous people, and they're regular people just like us, and they be going through it in these relationships.
Yeah, a lot of people go
dudes
through
be putting them down. I feel like mainly it'd be the dudes putting them down. It's just it's wild out there.
I mean, that's just part of life. And
how do you think someone could, for someone who is like in a toxic relationship right now, like what do you think they'd be able to do to get out of it?
I mean, speaking from experience, because I've been in toxic relationships, and I've been that person before who gave up my life and moved in with somebody else, and you know, now I'm basically at their mercy. And you know, I would say start forming a plan. Like if you realize that, okay, this is a situation you need to leave, plan your exit. Because a lot of relationships are done before you actually walk away.
Right.
A lot of times, that relationship have been done for years. But y'all just playing a part right now. So
come up with a plan.
Come up with a plan. Come up with a game plan. Stack your money. Get a different bank account. Do other shit and just figure out how, okay, I'm gonna give myself 6 months to get a new place to live. Cause that's usually the main thing. Where do I go when I leave this relationship?
This is true.
So
yeah. So get your plan together, child.
Get it together.
So what about when it comes to toxic friendships? Have you ever had any of those?
I'm sure I've had a lot of toxic friendships.
How do you navigate through like a toxic friendship? Like, when you notice it, like, do you try to correct the friendship, or do you just be like, okay, I'm done? Like, what are the things that you do?
I think when I was a lot younger, I was a lot more, I guess, lenient and understanding. But as I get older, I'm like, I really don't even have time. I mean, I don't even give a fuck. Like, a lot of times it doesn't affect my pocket, so bitch, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's just what it comes down to.
Listen, I ain't even gonna hold y'all. I completely agree with him on that. Listen, we have no issue with cutting a bitch off. Like, I'm sorry, but like, if you are bringing negative energy and negative vibes and that's all you do, poof, be gone, child. No, I just can't. It's just, no.
That's all I'm gonna say on that, because there's no point, baby. You could die tomorrow, and you over here stressing over
a friend.
And this how you're spending your last couple of hours? For real?
No,
absolutely.
Positivity. That's it.
Absolutely.
Positive vibes. There's literally no drama within our friends group. With us.
Not with us. And at the end of the day, you only responsible for you. So. Figure it out.
Yeah, I survive. When we come around, survive.
Always.
Because we don't dibble and dabble in mess. That's not our thing. Yeah, what you see is what you get with us.
We've had some people bring it our way, and
you know, I'm dead. So what about family relationships?
Ooh, child.
How do you feel about that? Navigating family member relationship that can be toxic, but you've grown up and been around this person all your life. Like, how do you navigate through that?
Family relationships is tricky because you're like towing a line for me. So, okay, in my case, right? When my family found out I was gay, I was put out on the street, blah, 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 yada, yada. We Go back and watch our outing story, right?
Yes. Was that our first video?
That was our very first video on
Yeah.
YouTube, where we spoke about how we were more or less outed, etc. Right? So at this stage, I'm 35 years old. That happened when I was 16 years old. What can they say to me? We never had a relationship. We never had a relationship. So it's just like whatever. But that's just one side of it. On the flip side, like, you will have encounters with even like your siblings where you realize, okay, this relationship is one-sided. Or this relationship isn't the best, because your family, they're people too. And they're good people and they're bad people. The same way like everyone else in the world. So you just have to figure out what is your line. What you're willing to accept and what you're not. And if at the end of the day, again, it goes back, they're not paying no bills, bitch. Baby, if you're paying bills, cool. That's a different conversation, but in a lot of cases, you're worried about family members who really don't give a fuck about you. And they're not doing shit for you, they're not giving you anything, they're not paying nothing, they don't even know how you're living. But they have an opinion though.
Say it louder for the people in the back.
This man made me wake up and choose violence.
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 But yeah, like with me, I feel like it's just like the older I get, it's all about boundaries. I know my boundaries that I have with everybody, with friends, Renaissance. He want to come out and he's not right now because we're recording, but we're gonna let him out after. But back to what we were saying.
Right.
So it's all about boundaries. Like, now that I'm older, I know my boundaries.
Right.
Setting healthy boundaries is so important within any relationship.
It'll keep you happy.
It'll keep you happy.
It will make the relationship actually stronger.
Exactly. So even if you have a toxic family member, set a boundary with them. That don't mean they're out of your life completely. You just have your boundaries. Like, okay, I know I can talk to this person on this time, that time, and then I'm gonna go and do me. Like, that's all it is. Healthy boundaries. So y'all, if y'all struggling with that, healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
Because we've set
even when it comes down to things like finances, right? Mm-hmm. Or even like favors. Some people believe because we're family, it's automatic. And it's not. A lot of people, it comes down to relationships. And if the relationship isn't built properly, there's no obligation. Like, the obligation goes hand in hand with the relationship. So why am I going to be obligated to do anything for you if we don't have a relationship? But some people really think it's automatic, and stop that shit.
They is snapping today.
I don't know why he put me in this situation, child. They gonna watch this and they gonna eat me the fuck up. Again.
But yeah, so going back to, again, y'all, the premise of this video today is just talking about relationships and why they break up. A lot of, as you can see, we've talked about the few different friendships, a relationship with family members. So there's so many different kinds of relationships that can be broken up depending on different things. So, yeah.
What do you think about
You gotta go.
how you've like navigated where we have been friends with couples and they broke up? Like, how have you navigated that, and like staying friends with them individually or not at all? Like,
That's a good question. We just act like it don't happen. It never happens. Bitch, don't ask, don't tell, bitch. Bitch, I mind my business. Y'all broke up, y'all ain't together anymore? Okay, cool. If you decide to tell me something about that, then I'm gonna keep that to me, or me and KJ, we'll keep that to each other, and that's it. Like, we're not gonna go over here and say this to that person, no. That's not the vibes, or we don't talk about it. It's not the vibes.
it was.
It was what it was. Y'all broke up, okay, cool.
Okay.
How was your day?
Okay. How you doing?
Out of sight, out of mind. That's how we handle it.
But sometimes it becomes like interesting because a lot of times a lot of these people are in the same circle. So they get invitations to shit, or they may show up at shit like the Fit Safe Space, and boom, you there now you have 4 exes.
I am fucking dead. Anyway.
We're gonna cut this off. They're gonna eat me up. Yeah, so and in addition to like it being tricky sometimes, I feel like, have you felt like people like stop supporting things we do in some cases because we stay in the middle and we didn't pick like their side?
No.
Like, so for example, you don't think so?
No, I feel like the same people be showing up.
Okay.
Like,
And they both show up and they just keep it cute and
yeah.
Okay.
I feel like, yeah. The community down here is the community down here.
Man,
Like,
it's so small, y'all. Friends, it's so small.
at this point, everybody know everybody, so.
Right.
So now let's go to the next thing that I want to talk about. Again, why people break up. Physical abuse. That's a huge one.
Oh yeah, that is top 10.
Yeah, people.
Y'all, it is so crazy when you find out that some people really be getting hands laid on them and they take that shit.
And still stay. I know a few people.
So do
and
I.
they have kids and stuff.
Even like now, like today, like they're still in that relationship
Yeah.
and they're getting hands laid on them. And they're just not doing anything about it. And that is just not cool. Like,
Yeah, it's not.
I always, again, it goes back to exactly what I said before. Plan your exit strategy. I remember even my dad used to put hands on my mom. And what she did, pick her ass up and she left his ass.
To the left, to the
Because at the end of the day, I have all these kids and you putting hands on me in front of these kids, it's not gonna work like that. Right? So, I even remember me when I was in well, I would say it was abusive because bitch, it was fights. I wasn't taking no licks from you. Baby, you're not gonna hit me and I'm just gonna take it. Oh no. We tussling like men, 'cause I'm a fucking man. You're not gonna just hit me and it slide. So after you do that a couple of times, baby, I gotta go. I'm not gonna just be in this house fighting with you.
Child, I don't know that the ghetto. No, ain't nobody. I ain't never had to.
No, I really had a relationship like that. I mean, I was in my.
Oh wait, we did have one. I got one little scuffle with somebody before, so I don't want to. But it was just one little. Yeah, that was it.
Mine was like. Yes.
Okay, so I don't want to act like Mother Teresa or anything.
And then I was just like, child, I just
no, that
go.
abuse, the ghetto, no. That shit is not cool.
Condone that shit.
Y'all, and if you are in anything that is something like that, get out.
You gotta go.
Please.
Gotta go.
Please.
Gotta go.
You got to go.
Right?
So, I want to move on to a scenario.
Okay.
And I just want you to let me know what you would do within this scenario, and then we'll talk.
Okay.
I just want to get out of that cage, y'all. So the scenario is, if you saw your friend's boyfriend out at the movies with someone else, would you tell your friend? So if you seen your friend man at the movies with somebody else they not supposed to be with, are you gonna tell your friend that, hey, I seen your man at the movies with such and such, or are you keeping it to yourself? Like, what are you doing?
It depends on what level of friendship I have with you. That's what it comes down to. Depends on the level of friendship. Because, and it also depends on who you are and what type of relationship we all have. So it really just depends on the level of friendship we have. And even it comes down to the type of person you are. If you're the type of person that's gonna get mad at your friend for telling them they see a nigga, then, bitch, I ain't telling you shit. If we not that close and I don't know your dynamic and I really don't know the interworkings of your relationship, I'm not telling you shit.
Out of sight, out of mind. I ain't see shit. I'm blind.
If it's like my best friend or like, you know, some like we really like have, and you not supposed, you know where you're supposed to be, baby. Child, what's up? What you and your man doing tonight?
Yeah, and how I feel is basically the same way. Listen, if it's not my best friend or my sister's, you know, one of my intermediate family members, I ain't out of sight, out of mind. Child, it can be a cousin. I don't care. Out of sight, out of mind.
Maybe I'm
blind. Maybe I didn't see that.
I'm not bringing you no bad news. I'm sorry.
Right, I'm minding my business. I mind my business game because at the end of the day, is this gonna stress me out telling you that?
Mm-hmm. Now you mad at me.
Now you mad at me? And y'all still together?
No.
Y'all know.
Let's go.
I'm minding my business. All right, so let me see. Cheating.
Number one.
The number one. Why do you feel people stay in relationships, especially when they have a compulsive cheater? Like, what do you
cheat into?
You don't ever, and this is for everybody. This is for gay, straight. What about, you don't ever feel like it's more of a, like, especially when it comes to women, they stay because of status or money.
Well, yeah.
Or even if they got a family with this man and they're older, you know, they love using ageism when it comes to women, you know. So a 40-year-old man, his experience as a single man is going to be completely different than a single woman at 40 with 2 or 3 kids.
40 is still his prime.
So that's why I personally feel like that would probably be like more so the like number one thing. I feel like people stay, women stay.
Women, right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Kids.
What about men?
Age. Child, I don't know. Why they be staying?
You know why?
I don't know, because I feel like, child,
what if they stay because
y'all ain't got no kids?
The sex is that good and they just like hooked. They trapped.
Child.
They hooked on the dick.
Child.
Or the booty up.
Child. Child, get it together. Leave, because that shit is going to get old quick. Yeah. You know. Bitch, I am done. This is it, y'all. I'm not starting over.
Right. But do you think like a lot of it comes down to like, do you think it comes down to like honesty, or do you think it comes down to like just people being like, for example, some people have like sexual addictions that they don't even know they have, or they're not even honest about, and they do not have that conversation with their partner, and in some cases they don't even know. So for example, I was in a relationship with someone one time, right? And he told me after the fact that he was a sex addict, yada yada yada, third. But this was after we had dated for like 2 years.
Okay.
And within the space of that 2 years, the people I found out about that he slept with was well over 30. So, and as those are found out about, like I can give you all so much scenarios. I think that was
the ghetto
relationship that broke my trust the most in every aspect of my life. Because every aspect that you would think is okay. For example, if somebody said to you, "Hey, I'm heavily involved in church and community and a whole bunch of other shit, close to God," them be the ones. But anyway. I remember like even like I didn't want to open that kind of worms because it was just so much. But stuff like if somebody tell you they have like a church thing to go to, or like a community event to go to, or they gotta go to work, or some shit. It was so much things this man would say to me that he gotta go do. And he would leave our home to go do those things. Meanwhile, he's going to meet with people to have sex. I even remember one time he told me he was going on a retreat in the church. For the church, he was going on a retreat, right? And it was some...
Not a retreat.
A retreat, and it was far.
It was a retreat, all right.
Right. It really was.
He was at a retreat, all right.
It It was fine, the countryside, in the mountains, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And he went on this retreat for a long weekend. I think it was Easter weekend, so it was like Friday to Monday. He was gone. Meanwhile, he's in a house with multiple people, and they were just all up there fucking. You understand? At this retreat.
Child, not a sex,
and when I would
not
call
a sex
him,
club.
when I would call him, yeah, it's going great. They're having service, blah, blah. Oh my God. People are insane.
You a lie, a cheater, a deceiver, heartbreak.
I'm just saying,
And
a lot of it comes down to people not being honest about who they are, what they're about, what they want.
Y'all
And
get out of them relationships, y'all.
And even if like that's not your intention, the minute you recognize that you want something else, you want somebody else, or you want to sleep with other people, you should be communicating that.
Communication.
Because people take for granted
That's
the fact
another
that their
thing.
partner might be into the same shit too.
Exactly. Communicate.
What if he want to fuck too and y'all could both be doing shit together?
Y'all both could have been outside. All right. Next one. Finances. Let's talk about finances. Because that's another reason why a lot of couples break up. Financial reasons. You know,
Yeah.
people be lying about what they have or what they, you know, losing jobs.
Baby, you know everybody rich and doing well on social media. Baby, you know all the girls, child, they be in the branch, child. Meanwhile, they're living in a basement.
Ooh.
But you would not know that because on social media, perfection, wealth, riches.
I am fucking dead. Not a basement.
People do a lot of shit just to portray a type of lifestyle that they really cannot afford. And again, everybody rich online.
Everybody.
So,
But no, yeah.
but finances is a real
to
deal. In some cases, like some people shouldn't even be dating because they cannot afford to date. Dating is expensive. Like having to pay a bill for two people constantly, or you're constantly having to like factor somebody else in the equation. That's not something that just happens overnight. You gotta be able to afford that shit.
Right, right.
You don't just get a quality of lifestyle with a partner just so.
Remember we was watching that show? She had the house and all that, and then all of a sudden,
Oh yeah,
shit was getting told.
They be lying. They be lying. They be lying. People be lying. They be renting homes saying they own it.
Own it.
Then they
People
evicted.
be lying, and this is one of the major reasons why people break up because again, financial reasons.
Oh yeah,
People
even
are
look at that lady,
lying.
that famous TikTok lady, LaShonda. Remember her wife was involved in this whole housing scamming shit, and she had no clue. People be living all sorts of double lives. They be scammers.
I mean,
they
like,
be
how
doing-
can you? But how do these people keep these lies? Like, they be. That's a lot of work.
It's so
like,
much
I'm not that smart, child.
I mean, you just don't want to put in the energy.
That is a lot. Right, that is a lot of work.
Energy.
How
It's a
can you
lot of
have
energy.
you have a woman that is on social media, famous, and you don't think what you're doing is gonna come to light? You don't think whatever you're doing, if you're on social media, it's going to come to light. That's how I feel.
Exactly.
That's how I feel, and that actually leads me to my next thing. I wanted to segue into another reason why people in relationships break up is social media.
Oh yeah. Social media is a big deal.
Social media is a big deal.
Big deal.
I watch a lot of podcasts, and on these podcasts, these women are strict on a man. They don't be wanting them to like other girls' pictures. Like, oh, he liked too many of her pictures. Did she like too many of his? Or she's in the comments.
Nonsense.
Y'all.
Nonsense.
If
Nonsense.
I mean, I guess here and there I might go. I don't read the comments.
That whole thing about social media and strictness and all that comes down to your own insecurities. Because at the end of the day, that is a grown adult.
This is true.
And you're not supposed to have to tell a grown adult how to act and how to behave.
But I do feel like that is a part of, not saying it that way, but
Right.
it is part of communication. Because getting in any relationship, you're not going to know what this person may be okay with.
Right.
So you still want to have that
That's where the
conversation.
dating aspect comes in.
Right.
When you're dating and you're talking to this person, that's when you're letting them know what you're about. That's when you're setting your boundaries. That's when
Setting
you're
your
doing
boundaries.
all of that.
Going back to what we said earlier.
Not
set
after the
boundaries. Yeah. So that way everybody know what the vibes are, you know, what each other is cool with when it comes to social media, because somebody can say something and you can read a comment the wrong way.
Exactly.
And now you're mad when they didn't even mean it that way. Exactly. So it's all about setting those boundaries early on, especially in this world of social media. And y'all, we learn it as we go, because at the end of the day, we're constantly evolving. We're evolving in our relationship. Social media is evolving and changing and growing.
Yep.
So there's always going to still be those conversations. It's not just one at the beginning of the relationship and that's that. You're always going to have those conversations, just because, again, you're constantly evolving and growing and changing your mind and opinion on different things. Hey,
social media really also makes people believe that there's a whole lot of options.
Oof.
Because prior to social media, right, the people that we were exposed to was relatively the people around us.
Around us.
Cities, in our tri-cities, whatever the case may be, in our towns, in our country. Now, with social media, you have people and you have access to find people all over the world. And social media, there's so much good-looking, fine, fit, seemingly well put together people on social media. So, in some cases, that causes a lot of people to lose sight of what's in front of them. And in some cases, it's not the other party, it's them. Yeah, they're so addicted to the thrill and the newness of people and you know, constantly on a search for whatever, that they're like just going through life, meeting, caught up, scrolling, commenting, liking, for no reason. And they lose sight of a lot of shit. So
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Of what's actually in front of real life, to be honest.
If there's like fucking 20 people in your DMs, 100 people in your DMs, that's options, right?
Right. And that's the thing that I feel like a lot of people, when it comes to social media, y'all, social media is not real life. Like, you, to be honest, like you in the moment, me with him right now, this is real life. When we turn this off and we go to the grocery store and we go grocery shopping, or we go to the mall, or do that in that moment, that's real life. Or if we're on vacation,
Right.
that's real life. Do not get caught up, especially if you're a couple and you're in a relationship, don't get caught up within social media. Just always know the one in front of you is the prize. And that's how we keep it, y'all. That's how we keep it. Social media is fun, it's cute, and we use it for what it is.
Yeah.
And that's that. But is there anything else, babe?
Yeah, so I mean,
what about spinning the block? Let's talk about spinning a block. And why is that? That seems like it's a trend right about now. Have you ever spent the block in your day?
I have, but I've done that. It's never been my forte because the once or twice I've done it, I've learned that the reason I left initially still exists.
So going back to spinning the block, like we recently seen Nelly and Ashanti. Who else spent the block? It's a few old Scrappy and Erica. They spent the block. I feel like there's a few others too that have spent the block and they're currently within those relationships. So
That's good for them.
that's good for them. You know, hey, more
good
power
for
to
them.
you.
Yeah. I mean, in Nelly and Ashanti's case, just looking at the story, I don't think it was because of them they broke up. They just had too much going on at the time. But yeah.
But yeah, y'all, so that is pretty much all we got for y'all. We wanted to give y'all another sit down. Y'all know we love our little gay table talk segments.
I've been to change that name.
No, I love it. We keeping it. And KP Nation, again, shout outs to y'all for always showing love. Always. Huh?
Gay sofa talk.
Shia.
Let's do that.
Is me. But yes, thank y'all for always showing up in the comments. We appreciate the love and support. And if you haven't already, and if you are new here, don't forget, stop what you're doing, like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, we'll see y'all next time. Peace.